to be an Adrian Dominican in the 21st century?
What's my life, being an Adrian Dominican sister?
We are women who have a very strong sense of ourselves as women of the church. We have a very strong sense of our education in order to then to educate others.
It's terrific. It's a great privilege, for one thing. And it's also a responsibility.
We should never underestimate the power of a seed. That from those humble beginnings, with absolutely no expectations, grew this wonderful congregation of Dominican Sisters of Adrian, Michigan, who were cast throughout the United States and have reaped such a rich harvest.
Our history was very much responding to needs wherever that might take us. And I think we did a lot of, and continue to do, risk-taking. Barry University itself was, when we started Barry College, was an enormous risk. You know, when we sent 10 women to found a college.
Mother Gerald was a woman of the church. There was a need that was expressed. She had women who could help fill the need. She said, yes, sisters, you will go. You will go.
She came from Ireland, you know, and with the history of Ireland, where the schools were prohibited by the English. And so I think she had that keen desire for that education be spread as far and wide as possible. And that's exactly what happened with us.
Most all the teachers were sisters when I came here in 1952. We had lots of sisters. Every subject was a sister teaching.
They had a keen sense of tapping into students' potential and drawing that out.
Well, when I first started as a student, times were a little bit different. We were coming out of the 60s, but Barry hadn't changed a whole lot when I got there. And when I first got there, you had to wear skirts to classes. You could wear slacks somewhere else and skirts to classes, and so you were constantly changing. And I was there for about 4 months, and we got that changed so that we could just wear anything to class. And then when you move then all the way up to 2006, when I left Barry, there were quite a bit of changes, particularly in size. Under Sister Jean's leadership, there was so much growth in that college. When I first got there were about 1,700 students, I think. You know, there were 9,000 when I left. So the growth was tremendous. Jean was a builder, yeah.
She was a mover and a shaker, let me tell you. She really got things done. She was always at the right place at the right time and had all kinds of positions of influence in Miami. She is the one who really is our publicity gal.
I really felt that this mission here at Barry was alive, and that this Miami community needed to embrace the world and to embrace Miami and all that it represents. And that was very important to me.
Segregation was alive and well when our family moved here in 1958. So the diversity grew with the evolution of the university. And I love who we are. I love the fact that we are part of an emerging global city with basically a global student body.
We have spent all these years with our institutions hopefully getting the mission across so that the lay people who are so important and so running the institutions would continue to do that. And so if they believe in the Dominican call, that they will continue that, whether they're sisters here or not.
Well, it's not a bad thing because there aren't sisters to fulfill the positions. If we pass the torch, so to speak, to someone else, we're going to be sure that they'd have to have integrity. So I'm glad I don't have to choose them.
When we had so many sisters in religious life, all communities, back in the 50s and the early 60s, that was really the time that was unusual. And now when there are fewer people entering, it's probably even a greater choice for them.
When I entered, everybody was young. Probably the middle age was maybe late 30s or 40s. Now to look at them and to realize what they have done, and somebody reviews the life of a sister, it's absolutely amazing.
I currently serve on our general council and as the administrator of the congregation. That was a position that Linda held back in the 80s. And what I have cherished is, as I have worked with Linda, who is doing a huge ministry as president of a university, she always finds the time when I see her or when she knows things are going on up here to call and offer support.
Whether I am the last Adrian Dominican president or not, I think it's important for me to put in place programs, services, and people to help all of us grow in our understanding of the mission of this university, of the values that underpin it, and most especially the core commitments. What does it mean to be a university sponsored by the Adrian Dominican Sisters?
The essence of the word Catholic small c is universal. So it means inclusion, it means diversity, it means being open, it means seeking truth. I would hope that that kind of spirit, that we can find the ways, as we call, as far as leading the legacy, nurturing the legacy, and handing that on.
One of the important things for the future, and it is now, the future is now, that as we've diminished, the formation of the laity to carry on the values of St. Dominic becomes more and more eminent. But I have no doubt that the presence of wonderful, wonderful women and wonderful, wonderful men will continue to carry on the values of the Adrian Dominicans.
I see so many expressions of the mission here in the women and men, and it has nothing to do with their identified faith tradition, but it has everything to do with understanding what it means to be Barry University.